My God, it is finally happening. For the past 10 years, I have actually been on the lookout for a good controller. Started back in 2014 when I first got this 360 Scuff. 10 plus years later, after trying this ZD Ultimate, made me have to make this video because we have some things to discuss. Along with, I've already ordered, and it should be on the way, this JDM 5X, forward by Marius, sold through Battle Beaver, but we'll talk about that later. 2026 is going to be an interesting year for controllers, which is why I'm making this video. I'm going to go over all of my current recommendations, and a lot of this started with a couple months back getting the PXN P58K. When I first got this controller, it absolutely broke my mind, and a lot of people seem to disagree with that. And to be honest, I could make my argument against it, but nearly 5K hours on Kovacs. If you want to go and get your controller information from people that plug it in and use aim assist, you go right ahead and listen to those people. Coming from Mr. Crazy Schizophrenic, controller, no aim assist. Let's go over why this ZD Ultimate might be my new favorite controller. Now, it's also important to mention this ZD Ultimate Legend, the base controller, default, analog sticks are pretty garbage. I did not like this thing. Now, it's important to mention this base controller, just default, and the sticks you can pop out. By default, these were pretty bad. So when I'm talking about this, I am talking about this controller plus these K-Silver TMR JS13 Pros, which is quite interesting. That same stick is also what make K-Silver, same company that makes the PXN stick, the capacitive joystick. Now, while I have only had this thing for a couple of days, and with how crazy I went over the PXN, surprisingly, I am still 50-50 from PXN sticks to the ZD Ultimate sticks. And to be fair, this PXN I think is at like $30 on Amazon right now. For $30, getting 4 back buttons, possibly the greatest sticks, capacitive joysticks. This might stay the greatest budget controller of all time. And this ZD Ultimate being $100 on top of having to get those 2 other sticks, which I think they're 15 bucks each. Still early to say what exactly I'm feeling that is making me like this controller so much. It could be a list of the input latency being a lot lower than the PXN. I believe the PXN sticks were 5 or 6 ms. Polling rate is also lower, but that is not everything. I do think this circle is a lot more circular, a lot less deformed than the PXN. I see Gamepad Lab using 12 bits, total resolution 1600. If that PXN is at 5800, that is quite interesting because that PXN still has me held up a bit. PXN just feels so good. And when I replaced the stick with the JS13 Pro TMR stick, it was a much bigger difference. It gave me some of that similar feel to how the PXN feels. I have no words to describe whether it's high stick resolution, whether it's something with the capacitive joystick or this TMR stick on the ZD Ultimate. Dude, I'm telling you, with these analog sticks, when you go into FPS games and you start aiming on them, it's like more of the game. It's just there to be looked at. The PXN blew my mind. I love that controller. With this controller and this stick, it's pretty close to the PXN stick. But what you get out of this controller that I did not have, the PXN was a $30 controller. The back button sucked, triggers sucked, because it wasn't great. I like that you can click the D-pad, click the front-facing buttons, but I don't really click these buttons. The triggers, which you can make long or short, but when you make them short, they're actually clicky. Bumper buttons, which actually has been a pretty big deal because right now I am using left-handed to ADS and right-handed to shoot. It's a bit better for my grip overall. These back buttons are a lot better. For one, I mean, it's just clicky, but also these are interesting back buttons. I like this, surprisingly. And so I have to ask myself, with all of the faults, with how bad the PXN controller is, apart from the sticks, is the PXN sticks alone enough for me to not use all of the other good stuff with this controller, with sticks that come pretty close to the PXN? And as of right now, I am on the ZD Ultimate. Maybe because of the lower latency, or I've just been enjoying all of the other features that do matter in-game. Also, I mean, long story, my PXN currently looks like this. My engineering work, the twisty tie method, has failed me. I was experimenting with stuff, okay? Yeah, listen, don't ask. And so for budget controller, I don't think anything will ever maybe come close to the PXN for 30 bucks. Getting that, bro, I was having to spend hundreds of dollars. God, that is red. On a controller with only 2 back buttons, bro, they just put metal for trigger stops. They just put something to actually stop it. There's no clicky buttons. Now you're telling me I can get this for like 100, 130 bucks, or the PXN for 30? And so as of right now, for extreme budget people, that PXN is there. And I think if you you wanted to go max out the ZD Ultimate with 2 JS13 Pro replacements, this one is still default, technically, or it is default. You go the ZD Ultimate route. Now, Kai, you say, schizo about this stuff and controller aiming. Why didn't you just go this route the entire time? Partly because I am cynical about controllers, and I just want to play on the best analog sticks, which is why I was waiting for this JDM 5X board for the longest time. Something interesting you will see is that this board is supposed to be a sub 1 ms latency board. But if you go on Game Padla, they have the stick latency at 1.63, button latency 1.43. Now technically, from Marius, if you ask him, would say that these Game Padla tests are not true. They're not real. They are not accurate. They should be faster than what they have it here as. And so with the PXN, I've had people tell me that the stick resolution on the PXN is not a true 5800 and that I should just get this JDM 5X board. At least from what I heard, that this controller or these analog sticks should be better than the PXN. I'm still 50-50 about it. I don't think, just off of these past couple of days, that these sticks are exactly there on par with the PXN. Now latency wise, I might be feeling, because it feels pretty quick, but dude, I am telling you, listen bro, these people are getting their information about controllers and the feel of controllers when they go into FPS games and they got that aim assist toggled on. I mean, we can start linking clips, we can hop in an aim trainer, like my thumb's just able to feel things that the average person's not going to be able to. And so it's not all the way there, but man, it is close. I say all of that, and we are on Game Padla, because these tests might not even be accurate. I will do a full review of this JDM 5X board. I also got the Marius sticks that come on these. They are Hall effect sticks, and I have heard that they should be the best sticks currently out. I think we've gotten to a point where low latency controllers, we're kind of just hitting the limit. Not going to feel it too much anymore if it's lower. Could also be the ZD Ultimate now having 8K polling rate. I know polling rate isn't everything, maybe because of the PXN having super high stick resolution on top of high polling rate. It's making more of that feel that I like. It's just precise. Man, I have some high hopes for this controller. And on top of high hopes, bro, it is insane to me that the Marius board should be the best. There is another controller just recently found, this Machinic F1, just seen the price for the first time, 150 bucks. On paper, this thing is looking pretty crazy. It's like the polling rate is going to be able to go to 8K. Latency though, somehow higher with that one. Where is the company though? Dude, just going off of a guess, I'm pretty sure it's some random company in China. Bro, the Chinese market, whatever alien tech they are reverse engineering to make these controllers over in China, it is insane to me that Marius, which I think he's in Norway, is coming out with this board. The lack of like marketing or push for the Marius board, especially with how expensive it is, and then China selling these things for like, I wouldn't be surprised like a ZD Ultimate like 2.0 from some other random company who knows where they come from, comes out and it's like, yo, it's 12 bucks plus like 30% in performance. I don't know what's going on with controllers. It's crazy to me that analog sticks and controllers, like the actual clicky buttons, back buttons, are just now getting to the point where they're on par with M&K. I mean, again, it stems back to the aim assist. I mean, what do you really have to benefit from a lower latency stick if the aim assist is just gonna stick on to people? I mean, really, this controller, this Marius board, is gonna benefit me the most. So to wrap up here, if you're on an extreme budget, you go to the PXN route for 30 bucks. Want to spend a bit more, you get this ZD Ultimate JS13 Pro sticks. But to be quite honest, with whatever controller it is you get, bro, I'm gonna keep saying it. Sleep, diet, exercise, it's boring, but those things are what's gonna get you probably the biggest benefit. The controller is only gonna do so much. But man, exciting year, 2026. The JDM 5 board, we'll have a review up on it. Please be good. If not, I'm gonna crash out. Like the video, man.